The Beginning After the End, also known as TBATE, is one of the most popular webtoons of all time, and it is widely beloved by many. And so, when its anime adaptation got greenlit, it was no surprise that the entire fandom went crazy, myself included. With the emergence of more webtoon anime adaptations and the success of some like Tower of God, Lookism, and the most recent one, Solo Leveling, the webtoon community is having quite the generational run, and we manhwa fans have been eating good. The Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint anime adaptation got announced, Lord of the Mysteries is coming out soon, and many other related news in the back burner had us excited about the TBATE anime that will be coming out, optimistic about what the future would hold. Well, some were already having doubts since the studio in charge of the anime and the director in charge didn't particularly have stellar portfolios. But still, all in all, we were all happy as we waited for the promised day to arrive. Then, the trailer was released.
What the hell? Oh my God.
And it was bad. Like, really bad. Creators in this space like Light Novel Historian made videos about it, and honestly I could not help but agree with them. The slideshow excuse for animation displayed in that trailer, it caused my optimism for the success of the TBATE anime to dwindle. But as a hardcore fan of the franchise, I had to cope. I held on to hope. More visuals were released and it was really looking generic and dull. Like, if you've read the manhwa, you can see the god tier art of the panels, and if you've seen the novel cover illustrations, you know what to expect from TBATE. Compared to that, the anime seemed rather bland, to say the least. It looked like the generic run-of-the-mill isekai anime, which does TBATE no favors because the start of the series does feel generic. Still, we hoped that the complaints would reach the studios in charge and perhaps they would change a few things, touch up on some things and make it better. We waited and we prayed. Unfortunately, God refused to answer our cries and we ended up with this. This is why I have come to the conclusion, everyone. This has to be a fan animation. And there is no TBATE anime.
Never happened. It never happened. This one was invented by a writer.
Now, instead of blindly hating on the anime, I'll just list out things that I personally don't like and stuff that just doesn't work well for the story. Anyone who has read The Beginning After the End knows how generic the beginning is and how similar it is to Mushoku Tensei at the start. I mean, Arthur, our protagonist, is reborn into a medieval world, welcomed by a loving family of two parents, just like Rudius Greyrat from Jobless Reincarnation. There is a similar scene where he is born that is very similar to Jobless Reincarnation. He's given a nickname, Art, just like Rudius is given a nickname, Rudy. The parents also have very similar dynamics, though we are very grateful that there was no inclusion of any maid figure, if you know what I mean. Art is also not a pervert like Rudy, so wow, we're thankful for that as well. But both characters end up learning about the world, especially its power system, in a very similar way, and they both try to amass power in similar ways as well, of course with some differences here and there. My point here is that the TBATE series draws heavy inspiration from Mushoku Tensei in its earlier chapters, and I was really hoping that the anime would focus a lot on how different it is as its own show, rather than make it so generic that people start comparing it to Jobless Reincarnation. Was still, call it a ripoff. Did no such thing. And just as I feared, the anime, fan animation did no such thing. And now there are even people who call it the Mushoku Tensei from Timu. I'm looking at you, Chibi Reviews. The art style is very bland. The story feels generic. And it feels like they just copy-pasted assets from very similarly generic anime into this TBATE anime. The background feels so lifeless, the marketplaces and the rest of the village feel very, very uninhabited and lifeless, and the character models just hurts my eyes to see at times. You can't look at these characters, even the important ones, and not be reminded of some villagers in some similar isekai anime. They share too much of a resemblance that it pains me from the depths of my soul to see them. And mind you, I still haven't talked about the animation. If you can even call it that. I'll just be straightforward with my words. The animation is not good. I do not want to disparage the hard work that the animators of this studio have put into this project, but I have to say it as it is. A lot of the movements feel very stiff. And that is even when we get to see movement at all, almost as if they are missing a few frames. It's not as fluid as I would expect from a professional release, especially for a title like The Beginning After the End. Like, why couldn't we just get the solo leveling treatment? I made sure to see the first episode in HD, and I genuinely tried to get the most optimal experience from watching it. But even I noticed these flaws right away. A lot of the moments that are supposed to be intense in this first episode are just still images with shaky effects to make them seem like the objects are moving, when they are just not. There are way too many still images in this episode, and honestly, I do not know why. Even in the opening, which I genuinely thought would be badass given the song that was being played, was just lackluster and bland. The music was epic, but it was seriously bogged down by the animation quality. I could go on and even delve into specific scenes that just made me boil inside, but I will spare you the details. Bottom line is that I was genuinely let down by the overall production quality of this first episode. The trailers did not lie to us, and I coped for nothing. While TBATE's first episode betrayed me in many ways, there are a few things that surprised me in the anime, which I actually liked. For one, the opening song was really good, like it was fire. I liked it honestly. Not the best I've seen or heard, but with all the L's this anime has received in my eyes, believe me, I'll take whatever good I can get. The backstory of Arthur as King Grey being fleshed out at the start was also a nice addition. If the animation and art were like 30% better, it would have been a banger opening to the series. The whole montage of blood and war would have been a lot better with brighter effects and just a little bit more fluidity. But it was still nice to see his previous life's conquest and all of that. I don't like how they made his death more vague in the anime for no reason when it was plainly stated that it was poisoned in the novel and the manhwa. I also don't like that annoying lolly female voice that spoke to him at the point of reincarnation, like when he was drowning in the water and all of that. It just felt like an unnecessary addition. But that's just a personal nitpick for me. I mean, it could be fine for others. Now, looking at the first episode overall, I like the adult voice in Arthur's baby body and how it contrasts very well with his baby voice and some of his infantile actions, like when he crabbed himself. Yeah, I mean, reading it is one thing, but seeing it in anime form is just another. It adds a comedic element to things, and I also like the splices of comedy just thrown into the anime, though frankly, I would have loved to see more, like some that are found in the novel and the manhwa especially. Like, where is the iconic line he makes when he finally crawls for the first time? And what about when he looked into the mirror and he told all the ladies to watch out for him and I was going to be breaking a lot of hearts in the future? I was seriously looking forward to those moments since they add some measure of spice to Otto's past life as King Grey, not making it like completely dull and serious. I mean, once again, these are just personal nitpicks of mine. It could be fine for others. The effect of magic, like, it's alright. I mean, it feels a bit lazy and generic, but it's a pass. I also like the emotional moment at the end with everyone crying and the scene fading to show the end credits, which is awful, by the way. Like, I do not like the end credits and I just don't want to talk about it. The most important moment in the anime was when Arthur awakened his mana core and the house just boom exploded. It was done fairly decently, but honestly, I found it a bit underwhelming. I mean, I wasn't expecting some mappa or ufotable level animation in that scene, but I just wanted, something better. I also expected more from the voice actors during that intense moment. Like the mother, when she was supposed to shout his name and, the worry on their faces, like I expected that moment to be very, very impactful with like a lot of music and like just stellar work from the voice actors. And well, let's just say we can't always have what we want. Overall, not too bad, but certainly not very good. Honestly, I have seen anime released in 2010 with better animation and effects than what I just saw. Still, there is hope for us. Call it cope, but I honestly believe that the studio is saving its budget for certain scenes that we'll see later on in the anime. We haven't gotten to the more interesting parts of TBATE, so a part of me wants to believe that the overall quality of the anime will improve with time. Just like the actual story itself, the production quality can get better over time. It fits nicely into the actual evolution of the beginning after the end actually. I'll avoid getting into spoilers for the anime onlys if such people even exist in the TBATE fandom at this point, but I'm low-key excited for the old elf saga and Arthur's journey as an adventurer, which of course leads to the epic dungeon fight, which I hope is displayed in the first season of this anime. Like, I have to see the whole thing, man. It was so cold in the manhwa and I hope I get to see it in the anime, like the first season, because frankly I'm not sure we'll get a second season. But bottom line is, with only the first episode released, there really isn't much that can be said about the TBATE anime, or rather like I said, fan animation. But let's hold out hope for the rest of the episodes. But what do you guys think though? Do you still think there is a chance that the TBATE anime will surprise us with stellar production in the upcoming episodes? Or should we just put the fries in the bag and just take our L like that? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Special thanks to everyone who supported me during my break away from YouTube. Yes, I am fully back now. I received a lot of supportive comments from my last video, and a lot of you guys told me not to give up. Honestly, your words really meant a lot to me, and they still do. You've given me the strength to continue making videos and talk about things I take interest in. Like, I have a few videos in the back burner which you get to see really soon. I also plan to talk about some non-anime related stuff in the future, and I'm pretty excited about that too. If you are not yet subscribed, please just help your brother out and click the subscribe button. If you enjoyed the video, please also click the like button and tell me your thoughts down in the comments. Until next time, Mage Crafter out. Peace.